Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Today, Dancing with the Stars. This is like episode 9 at this point. And we are here to recap the episode. Janet Jackson week. Joining me is my co-host Grace. How you doing today, Grace?
I'm doing okay. I had no school today because of Veterans Day, so I got to chill out for a bit. For a theme that only Tyra Banks would have come up with, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. How's your week going so far? Is it going easy? Is it going?
This week has been really rough because I had parent conferences and we had a test and we got sent back to virtual yesterday. So I'm just like,
The entire school or just your class?
the whole school. The whole school.
Oh God. Do you like that though? It's probably got to have some perks, you know.
Sometimes.
Well, otherwise, we got Dancing with the Stars going on.
Yes.
2 more episodes, and we are marching to the end of this thing. And I gotta tell you, I watched the results. I didn't watch them. I watched the recap, the notes from MJ's on like the line for Star Tours or something while I was in Disney. Just like that was me, like on the phone, going, just for the record of like, can't. It's not gonna happen, but. Grace, I feel like the headline here is there is a non-zero chance that I will once again be shut out of a finale. And
yeah, this is the most lopsided our teams have been this year, but I will say if Jojo and Cody both go home next week, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
Do you think it's gonna happen? Is this the universe we're living in?
I don't know, but I am starting to feel like I might actually win this draft.
Which is crazy. I thought like I was doing so well all season, and like what happened? All of a sudden it's like everything just blew up, and I'm just left looking around like where did everyone, like, what happened?
Well, Olivia has been doomed for a while, and there was no way that the judges were going to save Jimmy over Melora.
Yeah. So let's talk about the big headlines. We lose this week. Jimmy and Olivia, 2 people on my team. I don't think Olivia could have won, but I think she could have maybe made it one more round. And Jimmy, I thought he could have won. And
yeah, I was tweeting all week like, can Jimmy win? And now I'm just like, this did not age well because he's gone now.
Yeah, I'm very like. Could you explain this? Like, how did we get here, Grace? What happened that we are now at this point?
I mean, Jimmy went first and had the lowest score of the night by a long shot. So I think that definitely contributed to his demise. Plus, Suni is stepping out. Jojo, I think her fans might have gone into panic mode after seeing her in the bottom 2 last week. And I guess Amanda, Cody, and Iman have steam because they haven't been in the bottom 2 yet.
Well, I want to throw this to you because who's your predicted winner at this point? Like, who's actually going to win here?
I keep saying that I want Amanda to win, and that's mostly because I don't think Suni or Melora have a shot at this point. Well, Melora might have a small chance. And I would rather see Amanda win than Iman out of my team. If Cody wins, it's another Bobby Bones situation.
It's funny. I can still see Iman winning. Like, I very much could see. The only person the people who I can't see winning are Cody. And other than that, Cody and Suni maybe. Other than those, I think anyone could win.
A lot of people thought that those 2 were going to be the 2 to go home this week.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. Do you think they're going to be okay going into next week, or what do you think's kind of the situation?
Suni's definitely in trouble next week. Cody, it depends because, I mean, Eric mentioned this last week, and I've mentioned this before. Cody's fan base and the Dancing with the Stars fan base, like the 40-year-old women, locked.
Yeah, but I would have thought the same thing with Jimmy. You know, he's kind of, you know, he could have. I thought he had a good fan base here. And what kind of happened?
Like I said, Jimmy had the lowest score of the night, and he went first. Cody was last, and he brought the pecs out.
But is there anyone who you think can't win? Is there anyone who you're just 100% kind of discounting?
I don't know if I should.
What would be like the best case scenario and the worst case scenario?
The best case scenario for me would be really any of the girls because I think they all deserve it. If either of the two guys win, especially like if either of the two guys win, it's another Bobby Bones situation. Especially Cody, because like he shares a lot of the same 40-year-old women fan base as Bobby Bones.
Even Iman though?
I mean, a lot of people are standing Daniela, but Cheryl is notorious for getting shut out of finales when she shouldn't. Although this time she should get shut out. So she has been shut out of a lot of finales. So maybe this will be another situation with that. I wouldn't want that for her, but I just don't want Cody in the finale.
What are the fans saying? I feel more plugged into that fan base than I am. What's kind of the vibe going on there?
A lot of them are coming after Cody. Cody is the 6th best dancer out of 6 in this semifinal. And if this were about dancing alone, he'd be gone already. But he's still there. So.
But I got to say, like, I really can't tell who's going to win. I mean, the one indication I have is like going on YouTube views. Like Jojo has like double everyone else. But, that just could be because her fan base is more people who would be using YouTube. And, maybe this fan base, the viewers of the show tend to skew a bit older. So they're not usually that big of a demographic. So
right.
I don't think you can entirely discount it, but it is something to note. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't really know what's kind of going on here, who's going to win, what's going to happen. Just a bit of a crazy situation. And I'm excited to find out who wins. Do you think, by the way, there's going to be another season after this, or do you think
I do.
Show's in trouble? You do?
I do. I just hope Tyra's not on it.
Yeah, she was awful. Especially this episode I was watching when she does the results and Olivia gets like sent home and she just steps right in front of her. Like, okay, it's time to go. It was just so awkward.
I forgot I was going to do the part where she like couldn't read the teleprompter. I was going to do that and I forgot to do it.
Well, let's get into the episode itself here. So Janet Jackson, are you a big fan of her music?
I honestly, I didn't even, before this episode, I don't even think I could name like 5 Janet Jackson songs, let alone 12.
I don't think I could name even one. Like, not my personal favorite artist, but
no.
Did any songs kind of stick out to you during the episode that you really liked?
Rhythm Nation is a jam. And Nasty is also good, but that was the opening number, which next season, can they do opening numbers every week? I miss them.
Opening numbers are always fun. They're always. I
know.
They
only started doing them after fewer couples leave because they need time.
All right. Well, kicking off the week, we have Jimmy and Emma. Cha cha cha, and I feel like the bus came for Jimmy this week.
I mean, the package where they're talking about how much he and Emma love each other, like, get a room. Honestly, the thing is, Jimmy was really good the last few weeks. Like that contemporary, when we do our like end of the season recap, that contemporary is going to be a contender. When they did the Quiet Place contemporary, this was a huge step back for him. It wasn't bad at all, but he is one of the weaker dancers. And someone mentioned on Twitter that most of the seasons that Emma has been on the show, she's been eliminated the week that they've had to do a cha-cha. So keep this in mind for next season.
I mean, look, it just wasn't anything special. It was just kind of bland. It was like he didn't really seem all that into it. He was just kind of going through it. And I'm just surprised because I really thought he was potentially a contender. I mean, he hadn't been in the bottom 2 and all of a sudden there he is and he's gone. And it's just bit of a surprise, but yeah, he got straight.
He did win a CMA award, so at least he won something this week.
All right. Well, from there we move on to your number 1 draft pick.
And I think this is the first time she's been in the first half of the show, which a lot of people have mentioned that too. They're like, Suni's always so late in the show, and tonight she was second.
Yeah. What did you think of this one?
I was actually thinking, and I know Matthew was thinking, because Matthew messaged me on Thursday of last week and was like, Suni hasn't been rehearsing at all. And I'm like, I was like fearful that she was going to drop out. Maybe she was still sick. Or maybe she was, did you see that thing online where she got like pepper sprayed?
No, what was going on there?
So apparently she and a bunch of girls were just waiting for an Uber, and a car drove by yelling out like racial slurs, and she ended up getting pepper sprayed, but she's like over it, I guess.
Well, that's
I mean,
awful. Did they
well,
catch the person?
I hope so. I'm very happy that she didn't. All for You, that cover was awful. I'm sorry. I have to go all Matthew on this. That cover was not great. But no, this is the Suni that I have been waiting for all season. She was so confident. I would have liked a little bit more fire, but maybe it's this song. If this had been the dance she had given a few weeks ago, she might have a shot at winning. But at this point, I don't think she does.
I don't know. Do you like? She was in the bottom two once, right?
Yes.
Against, was it the Miz? No,
No, it
that was
was
Jojo.
Kenya, I think.
Yeah, and
that was Kenya's third time, so they were obviously going to send her home.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, can she still win?
I don't
Like,
think she
I don't
can.
know if it's smart to entirely discount her, but then do you think she's in trouble next week? Do you think
I do.
But why? Tell me where you kind of think she's on the way out. Like, what's kind of...
I've been thinking the last few weeks. Like, I thought she was going to go home this week. I thought she was going to go home last week. I'm very fearful for her. I'm not seeing a lot of support for her. As much as I'm seeing for people like Amanda or even Cody or Iman. Like, I'm seeing a lot of support for those three. But I'm not seeing a lot of support for Suni, and she's already been in the bottom two. So I think that kind of zaps you.
Yeah, and she's not on my team. And, Big Brother, we just got a release premiere date, February 2nd, or I think it's 2nd. It's early February. Could be fun, Grace. All I'm saying.
So can a Goofy movie.
Oh, boy. Well, let's talk about Melora and Artem doing a Paso Doble. Yeah, she ended up in the bottom two.
Bottom three.
People were also bottom three. I'm sorry. Well, technically, it was the bottom two because after you cut Olivia.
But Olivia was the lowest vote getter.
But yeah. So how did this one go? Can she still win?
I don't know. But like the thing is, I really liked this dance. I think maybe the show might have been bussing her because they showed her going at it with Artem. They showed the same thing with Amanda, but they've been bussing her. So, I mean, clearly the bus worked because she ended up in the bottom three. But I did really like this dance. The intensity was great. Technique was great. This was exactly what she needed at this point in the competition. I don't know if it's going to be enough to catapult her to the top.
Yeah, and she got perfect scores. I mean,
she did. So did Suni.
What better can you do, honestly? Like, I don't know. I don't really know. I feel like she's either going to go out next week or she's like going to be top two. Don't know.
You mean third or fourth?
Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Well, yeah,
those are the only two options technically, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't really know where I stand with her.
Yeah, because I was thinking before this week that this was hers to lose at one point, and now I'm not so sure anymore.
But you know whose it is to lose because they did lose? Olivia and Val. And this might even be the end of our time with Val on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
But what do you think of this result? Do you think that Olivia kind of had it coming, or
definitely
do you think this was the wrong result?
She definitely had it coming. Once I saw that she was in the bottom three, I already knew the results because I found them on Twitter the day before, and I didn't watch the show until today. So I already knew the results, but I kind of figured that Olivia was not going to be in the finale, no doubt. But then, I saw people saying they didn't like the dance, so I'm just like, okay, she's gone.
Yeah, you gotta say though, coming in, I thought she was either first out or she was going deep, and I
mean, there's only 2 weeks left, so she did go pretty deep.
She did. You probably even weren't going to pick her for the draft.
I absolutely was not.
But I'm saying clearly there was some potential there, and she was. I still think she was one of the better dancers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we lose her here. And what do you think about Val? Is that good news? What you've heard about him, or bad news?
If Val wants to move on, I am all for it. He did mention that this was the furthest he's gone on the show in quite a while. He's had 2 victories. He's made the finale several times. He's been on the show because, well, he mentioned this, but so Max, his brother, joined the show in season 2. And Val was on the radar of the show for a long time. He didn't join the show until season 13. But he's been there way longer than all the guys. Everyone except for Cheryl. Cheryl's been there since season 2 also. He's had a good run. If he leaves, I'm happy for him. He was a judge on Juniors, so maybe he'll replace Derek or one of the other judges.
All right. Well, let's talk about Cody.
Yes.
Surprise all around. What do you think of the performance?
I mean, when they said they were doing Black Cat, like the only thing I could think is if Carol Baskin were here, this would have been the song she would have done. I can't even hear songs with cats in them and not think about Carol Baskin anymore. The show has wrecked me so bad.
Was this Cody's best performance, do you think?
I don't know, but he's the worst dancer left. And those 10s were way too generous. I did not think he deserved 10s.
Yeah,
he brought the pets out, and that wins you votes.
I thought it was going to be, honestly, him and Jimmy going this week. Like, I think that
we can't get 2 people that actually deserve to go home going home in the same week. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Although I will, this is one thing I want to propose. If next week the judges' save ends up between Cody and Iman, who do the judges keep?
Iman.
That's what I'm thinking too. Because, like, I mean, if it's either one of those 2 in the save with either any of the girls, they're going to keep the girl. The guys are going to be gone.
Yeah.
But if it's Cody and Iman, so if Cody ends up in the bottom 3 at all next week, we think he's gone. One way or another.
Probably. But can he win still? Do you think he can, like Eric
if he
says?
survives this week, I would never put it past him. Although we all thought Nelly was going to win and he didn't. So maybe we'll have some justice this year.
Honestly, I think Amanda could win. She's up next, doing jazz, and she's making me nervous. I mean, she's pretty good, and without spoiling, I've heard some things about next week's performance, and I think she's probably gonna be in the finale. Is all I can say.
I mean, I was gonna say she's the only one of the girls that hasn't been in the bottom 2 yet.
Which the thing is, because she's like, of all the names, I would have thought she'd be one of like the most relatively unknowns.
She's not a big name, but she is fabulous. A lot of people are hosing her online because I think they like have higher expectations of her than maybe they should. It's very common with the ringers. I will say, I've said this before, jazz dances are kind of hard to screw up.
There's nothing there. It's just kind of
and like what they did was they did it well, but like I just didn't really get much out of it. But next week we'll get a lot out of her.
She danced it well. Jazzes they're not. It's like it's the show more than the dance. If that makes sense.
That's the thing.
They're very much.
They added contemporary and jazz on the show to like get with the times a little bit more. Contemporary, they're usually story driven. This had very little. This is like just like bones, and there's no meat on them.
Yeah.
I'm making weird animation analogies, but whatever.
But still straight tens. Still straight tens.
No. Was this her first perfect score? No, wait. I don't know. This might have been. I'm not sure. Let's talk about Iman.
Right.
We are part of the Rhythm Nation.
I didn't know we were having a dance performance.
You gotta dance with Rhythm Nation.
All right. Well, Iman doing what was it?
Cha-cha.
A cha-cha. And this was, what did you think?
It was good. I will not be surprised if he makes the finals, but I would not be satisfied if he wins at this point. Especially since especially since this year there's no encores in the finale. Like if we had encores and he could pull out the contemporary again, he would have a really good chance at winning. But this year there's no encores. And one amazing dance does not a winner make.
Yeah, I feel like Iman had that really like stellar performance, and everything before and after is kind of
But hey, Daniela on her second season is in the semifinals for the second time, so good for Danny.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I still think he can win. I think my prediction is either he goes home next. I think he also could go home next. But if he doesn't, I think he wins. Because he's getting a lot of traction for himself.
If I win with my last pick,
that's why you should have been called Team Accidental Victory.
I don't even know if I can wear the crown if Iman wins.
He was almost Eric's pick.
Yeah, he was the last pick.
Eric almost, if Iman wins, Eric nearly won this draft.
Maybe Eric needs a crown.
Can you give him to Eric just because I just want to see that happen?
Here's the thing.
He's just going to come on for the last episode with the crown.
If this starts... Wait, no. But if I come in... Wait. So maybe that should be my prize. Instead of losing, I have to give Eric the $5 to buy a crown.
I mean, you have a crown, I have a crown. Like, he needs one too for when he wins.
Yeah, like I said, loser pays him $5.
Won't happen though, because it's been a while since I've had.
You haven't even made the finale the last 2 seasons.
I haven't won anything really. But I will say Cody and Jojo were my number 1 and 2 picks. So
Cody was your third.
Who was number 2?
Melanie C.
Oh, she was robbed.
She
anyway,
was.
Let's
talk
move
about
on.
Jojo. Feedback.
Jojo. Oh God.
Fresh off the bottom too.
And not even a perfect score. I was nervous for her.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned that she has a lot of fans. She talked about how much support she got after she came out, which was great to hear. But the thing is, her fans are not the people that watch the show. That's why she was in the bottom 2. A lot of people are blaming it on the fact that she's gay. I do think that's hurting her somewhat, but I don't think that's the only reason that she was in the bottom 2.
I just want her to win. For 2 reasons. First, for the draft, yeah. But I also think she's a deserving winner. I think she's kind of given it her all. Yes, it's unfair that she kind of came in with a boatload of already dancing experience. But Dancing with the Stars is not a fair game.
It never is.
Once you make your peace with that, the show is a lot easier to enjoy and watch. And just if you can acknowledge that, you will have a better time just knowing it's not fair. And
but we still complain about it.
You know what? We can complain however we want. I am a fan of, just going whichever way, you're feeling. With the, I don't want to say hypocrite, but a little bit. I like when things are going my way and I don't when they're not. So, it's kind of the way I am. But yeah, not a perfect score. Len kind of gave her a 9. What was kind of going on there?
This was a really good dance. Still don't think they have a shot at winning. Len's entitled to his opinion.
You said they don't have a shot at winning?
I don't think they do. I never did. So, and then they were in the bottom 2, so I really don't. She's a ringer. She doesn't share a lot of the fans of the show. People in her fan demographic never win. I think the only one I can think of is Jordan Fisher, but he also annihilated the competition.
I didn't like Jordan Fisher. I was Team Lindsay Sterling all the way. Yeah, I will say it. Lindsay was robbed. Lindsay had it better. You disagree?
I do.
I think Lindsay deserved it way more than Jordan. I think Jordan was
Lindsay had the better freestyle.
Oh, it was epic. That's still to this day one of my favorite performances on the show.
But
when she came out with the violin.
Yeah, Jordan I think had the overall better body of work, and he was pretty much always going to win.
All right, well, those are the actual performances. Now we have the dance-offs. So
I kind of like the way they did it this year. I wasn't crazy about the only one judge picking the winner. That was the one thing I didn't like about it. Because like normally when they do this, there's an odd number. So the highest scoring couple is immune from elimination, although we had 3 perfect scores. So they would have had to have broken a tie somehow. But they paired everybody up, so everyone did it. But then only one of the judges judged it. So that's the part I didn't like.
I didn't mind it. I think it was fine.
And they were all pretty much decided before they even came out to dance.
Well, yeah, that's pretty obvious, but that's the show for you. But let's go through them. So real quick, we got Jimmy and versus Suni salsa. Did the right person win, you think?
I do. Although what I will say, and I can't be the only one that noticed this. They had the same costumes for both dances. Like, is the budget?
Yeah, both of them did.
All of the dance-offs did. Like, is the budget that tight this season? Are they having to cut corners to pay Tai-Tai's salary? Like, what's going on here?
It takes a long time to change. It's probably just simpler. You don't want to.
Tai-Tai can pull it off. They can too.
Tai is a fashion machine. She can just step behind a wall and then all of a sudden in a new costume. It's just.
And she can dress like Janet Jackson on the clearance rack and get away with it.
She's like a quick change artist. She just steps behind a wall and then boom, she's wearing something entirely different.
Oh God, now you're giving me like, heaven forbid, next season Tyra Banks shows up as a contestant on America's Got Talent doing quick change.
But yeah, so Suni wins. They get the extra 2 points. Do these points really make that big of a difference, or is it just filler, this whole segment?
I mean, it didn't really, because the 4 highest scoring couples were the 4 that won. So they just got pushed further ahead. Everybody else got pushed further down. Obviously, it didn't work out for Melora. But no, I mean, Jimmy tried to have fun. He tried to open his shirt, but Suni had better technique, and she got to do some gymnastics, which worked in her favor. But see, this is the Suni I've wanted to see for weeks. And I think it's too little too late at this point. So that disappoints me. But like I said, Jimmy won a CMA award, so at least he won something this week.
All right, well, let's talk about by the way, I think each time our team went head to head, my team always lost.
There were only 2, but yeah.
Grace is vibing this episode. But yeah, next we have Jojo versus Olivia.
Yes, make the 2 pros that are married to one another do rumbas with their dance partners and not their spouse.
And I didn't like this. These were like.
This was the most evenly matched of the 4 easily. I thought this dance might have been a better fit for Olivia, and it was, but Carrie Ann ended up picking Jojo. So I don't know if they were just like trying to use reverse psychology on us and try to get Olivia, or maybe they were trying to get Olivia gone this week. I don't know, but
I don't know either. But yeah, Jojo wins, and so she's, yeah. I don't want her to go home next. Like,
I think the only way she's not in the finale is if she's the lowest vote getter next week.
All right. Well, let's talk about Melora versus Iman. Not the fairest matchup.
No, Melora was much, much better. This was the most lopsided pairing of the night. Also,
yeah,
I mean,
really not fair.
I don't know what movie Again is from, but that song is so corny.
Yeah, this was tough. And just not a fair matchup, honestly. Like, I feel like Melora, you put her against someone like Jojo or Amanda, and you put like Iman against like Cody, I don't know.
I remember the first year they did the dance-offs, it was season 16, and Allie Raisman picked Andy Dick, who was the worst dancer of that season. And she got shaded by the judges for it, basically, in the other judges' feedback. Because I think they accused her of taking the easy way out.
How do these pairings get decided?
Well, see, it used to be before the highest scoring couple was immune. So the second highest couple would pick their opponent, and then that couple would pick the dance style. This year was all pre-decided, and I have no idea how it got decided. But
I like that. I remember that happening once, like in Bindi season, where they were like, there was some strategy going on where it's like, the coaches were kind of like, which style are you doing? Which we do? Like it was, I don't know. It was fun. But last up, we have Cody and Cheryl versus Amanda. Oh, by the way, Melora obviously wins.
yes.
The other one, but Cody versus Amanda. This wasn't fair either. Like that's just how it should have been. You should have swapped them, honestly.
Yeah, like Cody and Iman would never, and probably not even Jimmy, wouldn't have beaten anybody else. I mean, Jimmy might have beaten Cody, but that's about it.
And how'd this one go?
Cody, I thought, was better than I expected he would be, but he was in no way a match for Amanda, and I think he had to know that.
Yeah, I'm just rewatching it now and just not fair. Just really not fair. But so obviously Amanda wins, and that's technically the episode. I mean,
yeah.
The real excitement at this point is the coming week and just kind of seeing what's going to happen, where we're going to go. I believe there is correct me if I'm wrong, there is a press release.
There is.
So I feel
before we get to that, let's talk about the elimination briefly.
Okay.
So the couple with the lowest number of votes eliminated with no chance for redemption was Olivia and Val. So if this is the end of Val's multi-season tenure on the show, thank you. Maybe we'll see him as a judge. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
And then the bottom three was filled out with Jimmy and Melora. All of the judges saved Melora, so she is in the semifinals. Jimmy is gone, so that's 2 people from Adam's team out of the competition.
My team is in shambles.
Like I said, this is the most lopsided our teams have been all season. We've been pretty even all season, but now, I mean, he could, if Cody and Jojo both go home next week, he's rocking a blanket.
It's a non-zero chance, but at the same time, maybe next week you lose like Iman or Melora, and then we're back to even.
I know. All right, so next week is the semifinals. We have the redemption round and the last dance style, a lot of contemporaries once again. So the judges will mentor for the redemption round. Now, in the past, like
TV shtick.
Well, last season there were 3 judges and 6 couples, so each of the judges got 2 couples. When they did this in the finals with 4 couples, each judge got 1. But this year, Len gets Amanda, Jojo, and Melora. Carrie-Ann gets Suni. Bruno gets Cody, and Derek gets Iman for their redemption round. And there's also a promo for Sing 2 happening.
Yeah. All right. Keep going.
All right, on to the dances. So Jojo and Jenna, their redemption dance is an Argentine tango. And the song is Santa Maria, which is a Latin song. And their new dance is a contemporary to the piano version of Before You Go.
I love that song.
So do I, but like
that song. That's going to be a moment.
Isn't that a little bit superstitious?
It could be, I was about to say, it could be either, a jinx. But yeah, that's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that song.
So do I. All right. Iman and Daniela, their redemption dance is a tango to a tango version of Telephone.
I can dig it. All right.
And their new dance is a jazz to Dark Fantasy by Kanye West.
I don't know that song.
Neither do I.
All right. Keep going.
Suni and Sasha, their redemption dance is a foxtrot to Haven't Met You Yet. Not a Bublé fan. And the dance I've been waiting for all season, her new dance is a contemporary to Gravity by Sarah Bareilles.
That's going to be tough.
I've been waiting for a contemporary from her all season. Because if you've ever seen her do gymnastics, her movement is beautiful. So I'm really excited for that. Oh yeah, we never talked about my Simone Biles show. We'll do that later. Melora and Artem, their redemption dance is a rumba to "I Don't Want to Wait."
By who?
Paula Cole. It's the Dawson's Creek theme song.
Is that the song that Cartman sings?
I don't
Like,
want to
in South
wait
Park? Wait.
for our lives to be over.
Oh wow. Is that a good choice?
And I might be having flashbacks
It is
to
a
James
choice.
Vanderbeek.
It is a choice. That's what it is.
James Vanderbeek was robbed. Anyway, and their new dance is a contemporary to Thunder by Imagine Dragons.
That's a contemporary?
That's my thought too.
That's a weird.
Yeah. Unless they
Alright.
strip it down, but then it loses the thunder.
Who did James Vanderbeek lose to?
He got eliminated in the semifinals. Allie Brooke was the one and that was her third time in the bottom two, and they kept her. They kept her because James would have won, and they wanted a girl to win. But anyway.
Yeah, Lindsay Sterling was another name. Just
wrong season, but yeah. All right.
I'm just saying it anyway. Just
all right.
Go on.
Amanda and Alan will be doing a redemption tango to Titanium. And their new dance is a contemporary to Live Your Life, which is a song by her husband. So they're pulling out all the stops this week.
Yeah, this is it's gonna be tough.
I know, but I gotta be careful about how I say this, but a lot of people at the beginning of the season were accusing her of, talking about her husband to get pity votes. She hasn't really talked about him since the beginning of the season, but I have no doubt they've been saving this dance for a while. So I'm happy they're at least able to do it, because with the themes, they haven't been able to do that because they've been really limiting. So I'm happy to get their chance.
Finale.
Oh, God. All right, last one. Cody and Cheryl, their redemption dance.
Iman also.
I talked about Iman already.
All right, go on.
All right, Cody and Cheryl will be doing a redemption salsa to Danza Kuduro. And then their new dance is an Argentine tango to La Comparsita. So they have double Latin.
Let's see how that goes.
I think it's going to be a tough week for Cody.
Yeah, I think Cody's in trouble. I think Cody, Melora, and Iman are the big names that I would be looking at for being in trouble. What about you?
I'm nervous for Suni, but I'm happy that I at least get to see her do a contemporary. So even if she gets eliminated, I think I'll be satisfied.
But yeah, that's the episode. Is there anything else to talk about from the episode, the week ahead? Any hopes, things like that?
I found out they mentioned this on the show, but Caitlin Bristow, who is the current champion, is joining this season's tour, which I guess is expected because last season there wasn't one.
It's just so funny how we did a draft last year and no one picked her. She just was on no one's draft, and
Caitlin,
no one won last year. Yeah.
No, Caitlin was my pick.
No one picked her. She was on no one's draft, so
no
she
one
wasn't won last year. No, it's just so crazy how no one won last year's draft. So
bro,
we're kind of
stop busting on me here. Caitlin was my second pick. I knew she was going to win from the second the cast was announced.
I don't even know. Looking back on this season in hindsight, I don't know who's going to win, but it's going to be someone's.
I kind of like that though, because the last couple seasons have been really predictable. Unless, of course, this is going to be another Bobby Bones situation where I'm going to be throwing things at my television.
All right, but right now, who's your immediate who's gonna win?
I want Amanda to win at this point. I'm not convinced that she will, but who knows?
I think my honest to God prediction is Amanda and Iman final top two.
If that's the case, then I have both of the top two. But if that's the case, if Amanda, Melora, or Suni wins, I'll wear the crown. If Iman wins, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Watch Big Brother?
Well, no, he's on my team, so I win.
Oh, man. But, yeah, I guess that's our episode. Grace, where can we find you?
Hiding. Reality2_Grace on Twitter. And I will share the playlist that I have not shared in a while because I finally have it done.
And you can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox and with my feet in ice water because in one day I went to all 4 Disney parks. And I think I went to a park 3 days in a row. No joke, I averaged 14 miles a day.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But your feet are all blistered.
They're covered in blisters, and one of them is bleeding.
Please
at
don't show
times.
us.
I will not be doing that, but let's just say it's really hard to stand up right now. It's like a board, like everything just stiff and awful. But
you can also find Adam playing with a lightsaber and trying to hit me with it.
Grace said it was from Star Trek, so just
there's no difference.
Lull you off to difference. There is quite a difference, Grace, and I don't have the time to go into that. What did I ask before we went live? I said, what color lightsaber would Grace have? And she just had no answer. Like, just nothing.
Do the colors mean anything?
Well, as long as you're not red, which is the bad guy color. You know what? I'll just pick for Grace. She's I don't know. She's green. Yeah, green's not really. Blue? Anyway, it was lovely talking to you today, Grace. And when we talk again, my one hope is that we are going into a finale with a 50-50 split. I think that would be...
You just want somebody in the finale at this point.
I just want someone. I haven't made it to the finale, like, at either times that we did these.
This is only our second season, but yeah, last season...
Yeah, but in my mind, it was so bad that I've envisioned a third season where I've lost. So that's where I'm at.
Say, last year, you had Sky and Johnny in the semifinals. They both got cut. And then American Idol, you were shut out 2 weeks before.
It's been rough. I won my first season on these podcasts, and it's never been the same since. The one thing I will say is we've been getting a lot of views, like more than we usually do, and a bunch more subscribers, which just kind of blows my mind. We've kind of gotten like 13 or something, and while we were discussing Dancing with the Stars.
Heck yeah!
So that's kind of cool. I mean, this is like a channel that has people watching it.
Yes.
And people watch us talk, and pretty crazy. Still blows my mind.
Yes.
What we started this as. And Grace, you continue to be a welcome addition to the team.
Thank
I
you.
always look forward to our chats.
Thank you.
On that, I guess till next week, pray for my team. Peace.
Good night.